I had to walk through the Central Park Zoo to get to this spot. And I was playing with this trio, a bass player and a drummer, in the park for tips from tourists and whatnot. This guy was there every day, him and his brother. His brother was a tenor player, and I've seen them for years. Every year since I've been to New York City, those guys have been out here every day. Even in the wintertime when it's cold, during the daytime, there's always people going in the park, taking walks. If you get there too late, all the good spots are taken, for sure. You get there about 9 or 10 a.m., you can kind of pick your spot. But yeah, we used to set up right there, actually. We used to set the bass drum case out front, and people would drop dollar bills. Sometimes it would be great, a spring afternoon. All those benches would just be filled, and people would just be sitting and listening. After every tune, they would drop money in. I remember one day where there was 3 of us, and we each made like $130 a piece in like 3 hours. I haven't done it in a long time, played in the park, but it used to be how I made a living, how I made rent when I first moved to New York, though. It's amazing. I think people still do make a living playing in Central Park. I don't think you're allowed to have any amplification, which is perfect for horn players. Yeah, I've been shut down by cops before in the subway and on the street. Sometimes I would get bored and I would just watch softball for like an hour or two. And I would feel guilty about it later because I was supposed to be working, because that was actually my job. I got my first gig in New York City through playing in the park. I was playing in the park, and this woman came up and asked the drummer, who was the band leader, if they could play a wedding reception on the Upper West Side. And the drummer already had a gig, and he was like, "You guys want to take it?" And I was like, "Yeah." It was my first week in New York City. I was playing in Central Park, and I got a gig like that Friday night on the Upper West Side. $125 a man. I hired the band. It was like me. It was actually me, Ross Peterson, Daniel Foose.
And that's it?
I think that was it, which is basically this record, which is funny. It's like kind of amazing. Yeah, I played my first gig in New York City with those 2 guys, and here they are on my record.